Greetings everybody, this is Kind Pepper, and today I reinstalled Modern Warfare 2019. I did this because I wanted footage of the Clean House mission to compare it to the mission in Battlefield 6, No Sleep, for my Battlefield 6 review. However, I decided to install the multiplayer along with it, and I thought it would be really cool to revisit Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer in the year 2026. Does it hold up, or did it age like milk? Well, let's take a quick look. So, little history, this is one of the first Call of Duty games I got really into. Really into. I was pretty much there throughout all the seasons, and I mean that multiplayer wise. When Cold War and Vanguard came out, I never really stuck with them, unless it was for zombies in Cold War's case. I did play Cold War a bit for that. But throughout both of these games' life cycles, again, multiplayer wise, I mostly played Modern Warfare 2019. And I don't know why I did, because I fucking sucked at Modern Warfare. Look at my KD. It is 0.99. I couldn't get a 1.0 KD to save my life, apparently. For anyone who says SBMM protects lower skill players, I really beg to differ. As a teen who was really shit at shooters with a really crappy PC at the time, I'll tell you I was fighting for my life in many of those lobbies back in the day. It was a godsend when SBMM finally lowered the bar so I could get like 30 to 21. But worry not, I am capable of holding a KD above 1.0 now. Getting into a game was interesting. I quickly noticed that some people were camping, which was just annoying and kind of common back in the day. I see some people kind of over embellish how campy this game was though. Some people were saying you were just punished for moving, and I wouldn't say it was like that. You could still play very aggressively and do well in this game. And I'm not gonna lie, the campers didn't even give me that hard of a time. I could deal with them pretty swiftly. But this leads to another thing about this game. That being Infinity Ward, for some odd reason, removed red dots from the minimap. For a while, I didn't get why this was such a big deal and why it bothered so many people. And even when I started playing COD games that had this original mechanic of red dots appearing on minimaps, I still really didn't get it, especially with the newer games. Until I played a game that wasn't Call of Duty. I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 6. It's a great game and I love it a lot. But I realized something. In that game, I pay a lot of attention to the minimap. And then it hit me. Out of all the COD games, Modern Warfare needed the classic minimap the most. While games like Black Ops 7 don't need it as... Okay, I'm not going to say it doesn't need it at all. It absolutely should stay in the game. It is necessary for Call of Duty. But what I'll say is it's not as reliable as it could be. And it's much less reliable than it would have been in Modern Warfare. This is because Modern Warfare has bigger maps with lots of buildings to search through and corners to hide in. So having no red dots in a slower game with maps like these really hurt the game because you cannot confidently go on the offensive when your information is so limited, forcing you to play defensively even when you really shouldn't be. It's kind of funny because in Black Ops 7 I rarely use the minimap that much, mainly because everything is so fast and the maps are so small that I'm usually in a firefight before I can even check it. While in Modern Warfare 2019 you get a lot more breathing room because the maps are bigger, but you're not allowed to take in any information to help strategize. It's really funny how badly they fucked this shit up. Another stupid thing they did was crank up the SBMM, which I briefly touched on before. Modern Warfare 2019 is pretty much dead at this point, so when I was playing, the SBMM wasn't really that bad. I mean, somewhat we'll get to it, due to the really low player count. But I, and many people will tell you that it was awful back in the day. And Black Ops 7 reverting it back to the original matchmaking system, where it's based off of your ping instead of your skill level, is just amazing. It made Black Ops 7's multiplayer that much more enjoyable. And I don't even like Black Ops 7's multiplayer all that much, but God, it is such an improvement. I cannot overstate. But even though Modern Warfare 2019 is dead, the SBMM is still haunting it like a ghost. Look at this. Look! Why am I searching for matches over 130 ping? I mean, maybe the only people playing this game are overseas? Maybe. But for some reason, I kind of doubt that. Look at me rubber banding around. That's not my internet. My internet is not that unstable. That is just because the game put me in a lobby with too high of a ping. SBMM was so bad, is so bad, it could literally make your game unplayable. God, I am so happy Call of Duty is out of this shit, and it better be permanent. It sucked back then, and it sucks now. Not to mention that many people point out SBMM doesn't even help you get better at the game. Sure, it's supposed to protect noobs, but the problem with it is that you're getting such inconsistent variables, so there's no way to improve, because you're either getting a stupid easy lobby where everything comes to you easily, or you're getting a super sweaty lobby where you feel like you're the worst player ever because everyone, literally everyone, is better than you, and you can't compete. If you're a new player trying to get better, with SBMM, it may not be impossible, but by God, it's going to be so much harder. Like, playing a game with no SBMM was literally like night and day for me, to realize how my skill level really wasn't that bad. I wasn't great or anything, but it wasn't that bad compared to what I was actually experiencing on Call of Duty. I mean, I'm just so glad it's over with. Besides all of those glaring issues, I still really enjoyed my time playing. The weapons feel so good. I swear, no game has been able to recreate how great these guns feel. They're just so punchy and full of oomph. You really feel that kick, but unlike in, say, Modern Warfare 2 2022, it's not excessive. It's a right balance between immersive realism and arcadic fun. The movement also feels as smooth as I remember it being. Despite the terrible ping working against me when the game decided to run fine, it was very controllable and smooth. Even if you're carrying a heavy build like an LMG, you can still move quite comfortably, unlike in Modern Warfare 2 2022, where they really slowed the game down until it felt downright clunky. Yeah, and hey, you know what? Maybe I should revisit Modern Warfare 2 2022 and 2026. If you like that video idea, like and subscribe. Tell me what you want to see. One great innovation this game added was the Gunsmith, which I swear to God was only done somewhat right in this game. It's not perfect, but the later games clearly don't understand what made it so special and cool. In Modern Warfare 2019, the Gunsmith allowed you to completely transform your gun. It was a really cool concept. You could try to recreate guns from movies, or you could try to make some stupid, silly gun build for your video, or you could try to create the most competitive gun you can, which always looked the same. Okay, this is one of my gripes with the Gunsmith. As cool as it was, no one was really experimenting with anything. Okay, well, not everyone was. A lot of people did try to, but for the most part, people just kept making the same stockless, long barrel, no sights, alpha grip, 60-round magazine build for the M4 over and over and over again. They sometimes do it on different guns, but the point is it was the same build, stockless, big magazine, alpha grip, no sight. Like, it was literally always the same build, and it drove me up the wall. It was just all you saw back then, and even now people still use it. But when I was playing, I actually did see a lot of thermals being used, which honestly I don't recall them thermals being that common back then. Like, some people use them, but not always. However, while many people focus on meta builds, if you wanted to, you can make some really annoying builds. Like, I made this one class that was purely designed to annoy people. It was an M16 with a thermal scope, 60-round magazine, and long barrel, and I had smokes and claymores so I could pop smoke and I could see through it because I had the thermals, and claymores to hold my position. But my sidearm was an MP7, so I would camp somewhere like a pussy and then shoot passerbys. But once they tried to enter my position and get past the claymores, I would pull out my MP7 and just quickly take care of them, which they would never expect. They keep thinking I'm going to be playing like a pussy, but instead I rush them back. They don't expect that. They think I'm a bad player. Sometimes I'll leave my position and start chasing people, shooting them with my MP7, because that throws them off guard even more. They think I'm a bad player because of the way I'm playing, but then I just start rushing them. I mean, back then I was a bad player, but the strategy really worked when I was playing it today. But either way, while the Gunsmith is still cool, and an inspiration to a lot of other games, people mainly used it for meta builds, and COD has no clue where to take it now. Alright, I think I said pretty much everything I wanted to say about Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer. Looking back at it, it was a very flawed multiplayer experience. While having many great innovations for Call of Duty and other games alike, it also had very strange and poor design choices, which were strangely repeated later. But despite all of its problems, I still found myself really enjoying it. It is a fun game, even if it's also a frustrating one. Maybe I'm looking at it with nostalgia and rose-tinted glasses on, but coming back to it after not playing it for so long, I can't lie, I had a fun time, even if it was kind of dead and was lagging like hell. But I do want to add one more thing before signing off. Because you see, the next Call of Duty game is going to be a sequel to Modern Warfare 2019, Modern Warfare 4. Yes, they're going to make 4 apparently. They're not going to make a new IP because they're so creatively bankrupt, but that's a conversation for another day. And I just wanted to add a few wish lists for this game, because Black Ops 7, well, I wouldn't say it's a bad game. The campaign is certainly awful, but the multiplayer and zombies are pretty good, like, if you ask me. They're not exactly my cup of tea. I'm kind of not into Call of Duty as much as I used to be anymore, but I will say it was a good multiplayer, but it doesn't seem to be getting a lot of people into it anymore. It seems like a lot of people signed off with it. And if you really need to get people back into Call of Duty, you gotta change things up, and you really gotta put your all into this, because nobody wants Modern Warfare 4 to be the last Call of Duty game ever made. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. You don't want that. No one really wants that. We might bully Call of Duty, but we don't want it to die. Anyways, that's just a long tangent. Let me get to it. 1. Keep strict SBMM out. We don't like strict SBMM. Honestly, nobody does. I doubt even noobs like it. I know I didn't like it when I was a noob. I feel like it hindered my performance. I feel like it made it where I couldn't get better because my data was so skewed that I didn't know if I was just shit or if I was stupidly good at random parts. It doesn't help new players. It doesn't even properly protect them. It's just in the way, and it makes the game more frustrating. It doesn't need to be in the game. Number 2, red dots on minimap. If you're going to make large, complex maps, that's fine, but you're going to need to give players more information for them to confidently play aggressively. Remember, you're not Insurgency Sandstorm, you're Call of Duty. COD players like to play as individuals, not coordinated SEAL team members. At least not in regular multiplayer. Just bring in the original minimap system for Modern Warfare, and I promise you it'll be so much better. 3. Change the Gunsmith. The Gunsmith needs some sort of new twist on it, because clearly they don't know what the fuck to do with it. Modern Warfare 2 2022 fucked it up entirely with that stupid tuning system that was awful. I don't even hate Modern Warfare 2 2022 as much as I think most of the COD community does, but I have to agree, that tuning thing was stupid and it was just awful, just put it simply. Now, some players might not like what I have to say, but I really don't think Pick 10 should make a return. I think that would be a really stupid choice. But instead, I would like it more if they try to do what Battlefield 6 did with its Gunsmith. Yeah, I know you get your pitchforks out, but just hold on, hear me out. The idea with it is that there's a certain amount of points that you can spend, and then each attachment costs a certain amount. So let's say the developers are worried about putting red dots on minimap, because if they do that with the Gunsmith, everybody would just run suppressors and then no one would be on the minimap anyways, right? Well, with the way the Gunsmith is now, sure. But if you add a type of point system where each attachment costs a certain amount, you can have it where, let's say, there's a cheap suppressor, but it negatively impacts your gun. So you're going to have to put more attachment for, say, control or, velocity or things like that. While a better suppressor is more expensive, so you're going to have to try to give up more attachments for that better suppressor. It makes it where you have to actually balance your gun as opposed to putting on the meta attachments. So instead of making your gun, because a YouTuber said stockless, alpha grip, 60 round magazine, and then a monolithic suppressor is the best way to go, instead, you can actually have to figure out what works for what you want the gun to do and what role it fulfills. When I make the Battlefield 6 review, I'm gonna go way more in depth into this, by the way, so stay tuned for that. Number 4, destructible environments. The one cool thing Vanguard did that should totally come back. The destructible walls and environments were really cool and immersive, and it might help alleviate some of the camping problem. Like, a lot of people hate doors for some reason. I'm not someone who really hates doors. I never felt like they even got in the way personally, but a lot of people don't like it. So, you know what? Let them destroy it. Let them knock doors off their hinges. And it would also be really cool if some places have walls that you can take out. So if someone gets into a power position, you could probably stop them from using it to its fullest potential if you can take it out. Anyway, I severely doubt Infinity Ward will do anything I suggested, but a man can dream, and I have a different game for all of that. So, whatever. And this video is pretty much done. So, thank you all so much for watching. I've been up for more than 24 hours and I should really go to bed. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay frosty.